Hey guys, DJParson here, and we have another match of the Intermezzo Championship. I have the first turn, first position versus Andre the Giant and Kimmo. Let's take a quick look at the leaders and wonders. We can see I already took the library. We have Acropolis Colosseum, Rabi Sanzuzhishka, Gutenberg, Bach, Suez Canal, and Cook. Barbarossa, I guess, is a colony leader from age 1, but no Isabella, no Eleanor, Napoleon, Railroad and Watt. We have Nobel, we have Pierre, Marlene, no Hollywood, Fleming, Sid Meier, Bill Gates, Steve Jobs, so a couple of computer leaders as well. Okay, let's start here. I take the library. It's the best card of the 5 here, I think. Grabbing a wonder, almost always better than one of the yellow cards. The only exception being that Engineering Genius. Kimmo takes Rich Land, Frugality, and another Rich Land. Okay, so he starts the game with 3 yellow cards. So we will start H1 now. I will take Hammurabi. I don't like Caesar here, so I will go for Hammurabi instead. We have to pay the extra civil action, but we do get that back, so I can still increase pop and build the mine as you want to do most of the time. Andre will go for Caesar. We'll elect him. Does he grab a wonder here? He does grab the Acropolis and does not build a mine. Very interesting. Skipping the mine first here is indeed a very interesting choice. Kimmo will build the mine with the rich land, uses his frugality as well, builds yet another. Oh, this I like. This is interesting. This is not something you see every day. 2 mines in the first turn. Thanks to those 2 rich lands, he can do that. I don't know if I've ever seen this start before. Okay, so I will get the iron here. I will build that second lab still. Can increase population. And we have a stockpile. I mean, yeah, sure, with Hammurabi, the stockpile is quite okay. Maybe not perfect, but yeah, pretty good. Development of warfare. Let's see. Andre, of course, can take it. I could take it depending on what other developments will be shown. Andre will open another one, the markets. So I could take the free warrior, take the food, increase pop to not have an uprising. Andre here will finish the Acropolis, will still build the mine, and grabs a bread and circus. So 4 strength from him already, very aggressive start. Kimmo now reveals development of politics. That's good for us, I think, so that we draw some extra cards. Sadly, no defend card. That's probably what we would have wanted now with Andre getting this strong. Kimmo will increase pop. He didn't take the free warrior, he couldn't. We'll go for Cleo. Pretty late Cleo. And a breakthrough. So still no extra lab. Maybe he wants to go for printing presses. But he has a lot of rocks. What he really needs is a wonder. So sucks from that he didn't get the St. Pete's here. Development of settlement means I can easily take the free warrior, get back population, take some rocks. Get the library finished here and a breakthrough. So already 3 science production, can go for the iron next turn. So I think this is a pretty solid start. And I can even defend, even if Andre takes 2 times, but he won't. Development of agriculture, extra food. And then Andre can push again. We get crusades. So luckily I have the extra free warrior, so I'm not the weakest, but Kimmo is. Andre will go for Gutenberg, shows a tactic. Goes to Gutenberg, can grab the printing press here. No, builds a lab instead. Then increases pop. And grabs an urban growth. So he does not want to go printing presses, he wants to go alchemy. And there's probably still both copies in. Yeah. So he won't have, I guess he even has the option to go for a third lab. Because he has the Acropolis, so he could still do something with that Gutenberg. And with the Grand Circus, he maybe even has the population to do so. Kimmo now grabs his wonder, his first one. The Great Wall. We'll start building on that. And then 2 warriors, I guess, to get out of corruption, yeah. Okay, okay. I think Cleo... I don't know if that was the right leader. I don't know what the alternatives really were for him. But with him already having 4 rock production, a leader that gives more rocks is not really what you want. He had to spend 2 civil actions on Cleopatra to get 1 extra rock at this point. Yeah, and he doesn't really need rocks, he needs civil actions, so that is not a good trade-off for him at the moment. Of course, she will become better and better because she gives more rocks as she is elected, but he also elected her pretty late, so she won't be giving too much. But of course, to get back the civil actions, so in the long run, it's probably still the right move. I can go for the iron here, increase pop once, and grab a wonder for myself. I want more civil actions, I need happy faces, so Forbidden City is perfect for me. It will take some time, I still have to upgrade these mines, but for now I'm happy with getting this wonder. Now Andre will push. Another strength event? No. Scientific breakthrough, so 3 extra science for me and only 1 for Kimmo. He's still working at 1 science production. Andre will build the extra lab, increases pop, can go for bread and circus, build that 1, so he's out of happy face issues, and grabs a knight. Yeah, pretty solid start. 3 science production for him now as well. He still has the option to go for alchemies. Kimmo now finishes the Great Wall, gets pretty strong with all of the warriors he has built before. With that drama now he can get more happy faces. He still has a lot of population, so he also doesn't have a bad position. The only problem is a little bit the science, but up to this point he's managed fine without any extra science. That gives him a lot of extra population that he put into the warriors, he can put into dramas. So yeah, still very interesting playstyle for him. I can get a warfare, that helps me really quite a lot to defend, and then an irrigation. So I decided not to upgrade the rest of the iron. I want to finish the Forbidden City next turn. Yeah, to not have the uprising or not have the unhappy workers, to have the extra civil action. So I decided I prioritize that over the upgraded iron. With showing the tactic, I will go up to 4 strength, which is also okay, but still the weakest. But luckily no punishment for that. We get the knowledge of the ancients. So 2 science and a rock for me. So once again, I'm getting the most out of this. Andre will go for alchemy. Ooh, develops it this turn. I guess he didn't really have anything else to do, right? Like, this is not really how you want to play Gutenberg. Grab, develop, and upgrade an alchemy on the same turn. I guess he still has two more civil actions to spend on upgrading the rest of the philosophies, but the biggest problem was he didn't have anything else to do this turn. I guess he could have gone for irrigation, but then he also wanted to grab the alchemy. So yeah, he probably wasn't too happy with this turn, but maybe didn't have any other choice than to do this. Kimmo opens Wealthy, which he is able to win for just warrior. So he has 11 rocks now, and he can now go for printing presses. Build or develop one. Only build 1 because he's missing civil actions, but he can rebuild his warrior to go up to 6 strength again, and next turn maybe build another printing press. So I'm now able to finish the Forbidden City. That's very nice. Still a lot of science in my hand. I will go for Barbarossa. I mean, the other leaders, there's a couple of them left. Shishka would have been pretty nice, but yeah, like this. I still have the irrigation. I can use this turn, show the new tactic and not be the weakest, and hopefully still have other options to use Barbarossa in the future. Not ideal. I could have kept Hammurabi, but there was a chance that I lose him before the next turn. So I decided to take the leader now. Made for okay turn this turn. Andre will use Hammurabi again, goes for knights. Will build one. Shows the phalanx, so 9 strength for him. And a code of laws grabbed as well. And then these monarchies are really cheap for him, so he's definitely wanting one of these with his science and only 4 science for the monarchy. Kimmo will copy the Legion, goes for Leonardo. Pretty good for him. And an iron. We can develop that. Upgrade one. And build another warrior to get out of corruption. This will give him happy face issues next turn, so it's going to be interesting to see how he gets out of that. He could go for Theocracy, but I don't know if that's really what he wants. So we're seeing Kimmo struggling a little bit with his population now. He did send away one population for the wealthy, getting more rocks, and rocks has been the thing he has had from the beginning, as we see from the 12 rocks just sitting here. But now he doesn't have enough population. He probably would have wanted another printing press. He probably would have preferred irrigation upgrades to the iron upgrade, because he already has a lot of rock protection because of the 4th mine. So I will upgrade a little bit. 1 irrigation, 1 iron. Can go for monarchy. So pretty healthy yellow and civil and military actions. 1 extra plus the monarchy gives me 6 and 4, which is really solid, especially considering both of the others have 4 and 2. So really outperforming the guys in that, and I still have very good production. I'm a little bit behind in strength, so that would be the punishment here, if or that would be a negative side if they can punish me for this at the moment being weakest, but it's not like they can go for aggressions or anything. So I don't really think that's a big problem. Andre will go for more of those alchemies, goes for Code of Laws and Monarchy in the same turn, spending all of his science, but he's gonna make enough back. Grabs the cannons also. So he has a lot of science production, not much else, but he does have that. Barbarians. Andre is hit by that. He will lose population. And now we will see Kimmo. Will he go for Theocracy? No, he grabs Magic. Oh, he has to destroy Warrior then. 1 Warrior that he just built has to be destroyed here. But he manages. So my turn once again. I can upgrade the rest of my buildings. I've in general now especially with an extra philosophy, because I have the population. Very solid production. I have good civil and military actions and food, rock and science production, all very solid. So I like my position here quite a lot. Once again, military is one thing I'm struggling with a little bit. But if I get the cavalryman next turn, I can use Barbarossa a little bit more, maybe show my new tactic and then become pretty strong. And with the opera, I have the option to go for Bach and maybe rebuilding some of the philosophies. Andre will push, we get good harvest, so I produce even more food. He has to destroy a mine, that sucks. Urban growth will even go down to -1 food production and has corruption. This turn sucks. That is a rough turn for Andre. And he does get the strategy, so that's nice. Kimmo gets the Cornmon. That will improve his position quite a lot next turn when he has enough science for it. Architecture and Cornmon for him here. So I definitely think Kimmo has a better position than Andre. Andre did a nice start. But now he has only science and not really much else. I guess he can go for coal and he can still stabilize. He has good civil actions. He doesn't have a super bad position. I still think Kimmo's is a little bit better. And then mine is probably the best. That's my current reading of this game. I try to go for scientific cooperation with Kimmo, but sadly he cancels, or he doesn't accept this. Not sure exactly why. I mean, I guess the problem is he wants the Cornmon, so he does have a lot of science in hand, but it's all gonna go into the Cornmon. And then he has only no science and 3 production. And I have less science and more production, but I don't have this one big tech I want to spend all of my science points in. So yeah, we'll go for Cavalryman. Can build 1 with Barbarossa. Go for Nobel. So sadly no Bach, but Nobel will help a lot as well with 6 science production. And that's also another reason why Kimmo probably didn't want the scientific cooperation, because I have extra science production now sitting on 6. Increase pop. and grab a reserves. Yeah, still very solid. I mean, rocks might become an issue later on, but for now 6 is very much up there. At the beginning of H2 it's hard to have more. There would have been an option to go for Bach instead, but I decided to go for a little bit of military, becoming the strongest here, getting more science production. Okay, this time Kimmo will accept the pact, because this is one without really a downside, the international trade agreement. Andre produces extra rocks and Kimmo the food. And then what for Andre? He gets coal here. Can develop that. Oh, grabs rifleman as well. Interesting, he prioritizes the infantry over the coal. I guess he also gets the selective, but it would have been a very strong turn if he could have gone for the coal this turn. And in general, I think this is a good strategy by him, going for, he has the science and now he can still upgrade both of his productions, the rocks and the food, cheaply with what? He really doesn't want to be the weakest, so it's going to be interesting to see what cards that might mean are on top or are in the deck. Kimmo will go for Bach here. So he will build another religion, probably wants to rebuild that later on with Bach. And will go up to 8 rock production. So yeah, also once again, very solid position from him. He is the weakest though, so I will probably push now. Push the pestilence, we get inhabited. Andre wins this for 7+. Just a warrior, that's pretty good for him. I will then go for opera, build one of those. With the architecture, maybe for the next opera, 1 reserves. 1 frugality and increase pop. So yeah, just setting up to build a couple of operas. I don't have a war, so I can't really go all in on military. And this is still, I mean, I have the rocks, I have the science to go for architecture, and the next turn more operas. I have the civil actions, I have 2 reserves in hand. So just using all of that stuff to build operas right now to get a little bit of culture production when I don't really have much else to do. When I can't reliably go for military, I think the culture production here is going to be quite good as well. Andre now will go for coal. Why doesn't he go for an extra one? Why does he want to be so strong? Like, there's 4 cards. I mean, he knows most of them if these are correct. But he could have upgraded another coal, but instead he builds a rifleman. Grabs the sewers. Engineering genius. Develops the selective breeding. Okay, so we will see what colony he has for the sewers. If it's a very good one, he will have a lot of rock production. He is also the strongest now, so Kimmo's really push. No, he goes for Bach instead. Goes for the drama. Can rebuild 1. Grabs a rifleman, selective breeding. Efficient upgrade. Problem is he can't go for selective breeding next turn, so he's not going to have a lot of population. That's his biggest issue at the moment. Luckily he can rebuild religions into dramas with Bach, so that is definitely good for him. But one problem is that he can't go for selective breeding next turn. And he also probably needs riflemen at some point. He has no science, so sitting on 2 science production is his biggest problem. He spent a lot of science on the Conmon, and now it's hard to develop anything more with just the 2 science production. So I will push here. We get the immigration. Kimmo wins this. So not really understanding Andre's push for military when the last 2 cards that we saw didn't have anything to do with strength. Of course, one of the 2, or both of them, could be what he's afraid of, why he wanted to be stronger. At the moment, I'm not seeing it. So I will build an extra opera. Can use both reserves for more rocks. Could have built an extra one. Could have built an extra opera, but I decide to build an extra cavalryman instead. So going up to 16 strength. And then grab, what will I grab? Maybe the breakthrough? Yeah, grab the breakthrough, take that away from Andre. Maybe not as much from Andre. Just getting it for myself. It would be important to keep it out of the hand of Kimmo. But Andre has a lot of science, same as me. But breakthrough is still a very solid card. And now with 2 operas, I'm starting to produce quite a bit of culture. Andre will push. And we get rebellion. Okay, so I'm not understanding the military push by him at all. Could have upgraded his production like 2 turns ago, not focused on military that much. But now he will do it a little bit late, but better late than never. We'll grab the wave, the efficient upgrade, can go for this strategy and start building on that sewers. So yeah, he's definitely improving his position quite a lot. So I like that overall. His position is definitely improving. He's behind in culture production, but he will have a lot of rock production very soon. He also has the culture still, but yeah, getting up the production will be what he needs to do at age 3 probably. Maybe he can go for military, we shall see. Kim will find something to do with his rocks soon. So he does get the breakthrough, can build an extra printing press. So this could mean that he will just go for architecture next turn and then finish the Eiffel Tower. Oh no, sorry, he didn't build an extra printing press. He rebuilt another religion into drama, but has enough science to go for architecture next turn if he wants. Alternatively, he could go for selective breeding, but this breakthrough definitely helps him a lot. Means next turn he can go for architecture, and the turn after that he could go selective breeding. So yeah, I wished that Andre had taken away the breakthrough from Kimmo, but Andre had other things to do. 20 rocks now for Kimmo as we start into age 3. I will push, we get Foray. Okay, so one of the events was a strength event, but Andre didn't have to be the strongest for this, so me and him will get this Foray. I probably take the rocks or maybe 1 food. Yeah, so I can... Or what did I take? I think I took some more food, and then with the frugality, yeah, only food, and then with frugality I have enough to pop once again. We'll take the team sports here, develop that, build 1. We have a revolutionary idea. And that's it. I don't know if the team sports here was really necessary. I mean, still, they are pretty cheap. With the architecture, 3 rocks for team sports. There is Pierre, so also preparing for him a little bit. Obviously also Marlene. The thing is, if we get Marlene, then I don't need the team sports anymore, because Marlene gives the taper phases from the opera. So I could have just built an opera here, maybe grab an urban growth or something. So not completely convinced, not necessarily bad either here, going for the team sports. But it has to prove itself still. Pestilence hits. Andre has to destroy something. He destroys an HA mine, not the biggest issue. I can also destroy something like the warriors, not the biggest deal. Kimmo also has to destroy something, and he has some happy face issues, but he probably is gonna destroy a warrior as well. No biggie. Andre gets the sewers, gets a colony. What colony is it? The autonomous. Okay, then this is definitely worth it. Now he probably has a very strong position. Even though he has no culture production, so he has probably the hardest job to do in age 3 now, because he has to find a way to either produce culture or just go for military. But for him, he has a very solid position, but he actively has to make something out of this now and do that fast. Kimmo destroys the warrior indeed. Will go for the selective breeding here, upgrade both of them, and finish the Eiffel Tower, giving him the happy face. So yeah, that's a very nice turn for him, getting even more culture production, getting food production, and solving his happy face crisis. One issue for him is he is weak, but he does have riflemen and cannons in hand. He has the Magic Castle plus Great Wall. So for him it's basically just defend, 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 maybe use the rocks to build a wonder, maybe build 1 or 2 more dramas if he can get a new government form. But yeah, he has the culture lead, the culture production, and defensive tools. He just has to use them. So what do we get? Refugees. So I get an extra population, so I will lose a population and then regain it. So I did destroy a warrior, grab the democracy, sadly missing 1 science to go for this turn. I will go for an extra opera now, and then increase pop. So it sucks a little bit not to get the military build-up, patriotism, those would have been really nice. If I had one more science, I could have done something with that. Like I would have gotten extra civil actions, could have grabbed one of those two. They would have been really, really nice. But still like this, I'm up to 10 culture production. With a democracy next turn and an extra opera, I will get quite a lot. And then if I get Marlene, that will be even more insane. Andre is also searching for a new leader, but I don't think he want to go for Gandhi. Ravages of Time. Andre will lose. That sucks a little bit, losing the Acropolis now. I don't know if he would have gone for communism. Probably not. Maybe. Yeah, if there would have been a democracy, that would have been really nice. But he will go for oil here. It's quite expensive, and he already. I'm not sure if he will overextend into rock production. Will just build. That's a lot of rocks now. 14 production. They are also pretty cheap. It will give extra culture with Watt at the end. So not necessarily bad. Only a little bit problematic that he has to spend 3 civil actions to grab it. On the other hand, what else would he have done? Could have maybe gone for multimedia instead already, getting more science, some culture. But 14 rock production, can't really argue with that. Still very early on, and he still got the boost from Watt. So Kimmo will load up on yellow cards, military build-up, patriotism, and revolutionary idea. Especially this revolutionary idea is very good for him. And now we can also grab tanks, upgrade a couple of these riflemen. So he is defending. Is it going to be enough though? He's not going to have good impacts with just 1 science production. He's 74 culture versus my 47, and he's still producing more, but not for long. Especially if I get a culture leader. Like Marlene would be perfect. Pop of science, that hurts Kimmo as well, of course. 6 and 6 for me and Andre. I get the democracy. I can grab the Manhattan Project. That frees up some population for me. Also, I mean, would give 5 culture at the moment, but mostly to free up population. I get the engineering genius, rockets, and an urban growth. I still have some extra rocks and will build 1 more cavalryman. So going for more culture, trying to defend it with going for a Manhattan Project plus engineering. That's a nice combo. Urban growth, then probably next turn for the 4th opera. So a little bit of everything basically. I maybe could have gone for an extra opera here this turn instead of grabbing the urban growth. On the other hand, I'm definitely the guy with the lowest rock production, so I have to be careful. As we said, Andre still no culture production. What way does he have besides military? Yeah, at this point, yeah, he could still go for multimedia. So he's not far behind in culture, because he got a lot of extra culture from Gutenberg and such. So yeah, he doesn't have to go for military. But if he does, then I feel like with this project and the engineering genius, I have a chance to defend. Maybe better than Kimmo, so hopefully Andre goes against Kimmo. That could even be good for me. And yeah, then I want to save the rocks and not spend them on the opera, but use the urban growth next turn. So Andre will push. We get wealthy territory. Kimmo is able to win it for a rifleman. That's a good deal. Andre now upgrades more oil. And now it's, I think, too much. I mean, yeah, sure, you can still build 1 multimedia. Grab air forces. I guess he has the civil actions. These upgrades are very cheap, just 1 rock to upgrade to oil. I guess it makes sense. Yeah, if you have the oil, it makes sense to upgrade those. It's still early on. Yeah. It's still gonna not be that easy to. I mean, maybe it will be. If he gets movies next turn, he can build the movies, go for Fleming. All of the sudden, he has 20 culture production. As I said, he's not far behind, and with 25 rocks, he can build a couple of movies, couple of multimedias, get a wonder, even though not that many wonders are left. Kimono on 6 strength. Will pop. Will go for cannons. Yeah, goes for cannons. Builds 1. Rebuilds. Okay, going down to 0 culture production. Science production, but 19 culture production now. 2 cannons. I mean, we know that he doesn't have defensive army, so he probably drew the positional army. That's very good then for him. Still the weakest though. So let's see. I kind of don't want to push the input of agriculture. No, I won't do it. I do get Marlene though here. That's very good. 17 culture production. Satellites. Reserves. And build two stages of the Manhattan Project to get out of corruption. Could have been nice to build an extra opera. I would have had to destroy something for that. I could have done that, maybe. That would have been 4 extra culture production from the opera. I'm still definitely a little bit afraid of Andre. Could still go for military. So I'm trying to play this a little bit safe. Marlene helps with that, obviously, and the Manhattan Project. Andre will open the economic progress. Okay, now he has all the rocks he could ever wish for. Fleming and movies on 1 here for him. So he's gonna go crazy here. Build 1 movies, grab the internet. For corruption, not really a big issue. Bigger issue could be that he's not gonna be producing full, because he doesn't have enough blue cubes. Yeah, I don't think he produced everything he could have. 42 rocks in his bank though. Impact of population 14, 8 and 6, so very good impact for me. I played that one as well. We get in pop, build another rifleman. Revolutionary idea number 2 for Kimmo. Reserves. He's just hoping that the 19 culture production will be enough. We only have 1 wonder left, the United Nations, so if Kimmo gets that one, he can use his rocks. I don't think he's in a position to go for military. If he declares a war, he's only 1 military action left, so probably can't really go for that. So I open the input of variety, 14, 16, 6. These impacts are not good for Kimmo. We are catching up to him. Civil service for me, I can develop that. Finish the Manhattan Project. Only 3 culture, but I could grab the United Nations here. I do that, yeah. So that's why I finish the Manhattan Project, to also grab the United Nations, take that away from... I mean, Andre couldn't go for it because he has to spend 5 civil elections on the internet, but Kimmo would have grabbed that when it came down to him. I also become pretty strong, so with this Manhattan Project I have enough strength to defend anything at this point. And then yeah, the United Nations don't have an impact for it yet, but it's still gonna give quite a lot of culture. 16 because of the wonders, and I have enough rocks for it. Grab mechanized agriculture here. Still not getting the opera last turn is hurting a little bit. I probably should have just, I don't know, destroyed the warrior, built the extra opera. It only would have cost 2 rocks because of urban growth and the architecture. And now this turn I once again don't find the time to do it, so 8 culture lost already for not building that last turn. Game of culture and science is interesting. International tourism between these 2 guys. That's very nice for them. So what does Andre do? Another movies? Oh, engineering? I don't think you need that. I guess he needs it with the... yeah. Okay, so I don't understand... yeah, okay, he's becoming pretty weak. He's probably afraid of an aggression. That's why he builds an extra knight and shows it the tactic. Grabs fundamentalism if there's going to be a war. So 22 culture production from him. And yeah, I wasn't a fan of the engineering because I thought he would take that to save some cost on the multimedia and movies. And obviously he doesn't have to save cost here, but he does it because he needs to finish the internet and will save civil actions with the engineering. I mean, he still grabbed the engineering for 3. Has to develop it, that's 4 civil actions, and he's only going to save 3 civil actions on the internet. So it's still debatable, and I think I would have liked it more if he... yeah, I guess maybe destroy my alchemy, but build multimedia instead, something like that. We will see. H4 will start. Kimmo loses Bach. Can go for Pierre, just for the Olympic Games then. We'll build another cavalryman, another infantryman, destroys a mine. And that's it for him. So 144 before the last turn, but I think we are too close. I think Kimmo, yeah, the game went too long, and me and Andre could use our science production that Kimmo didn't to, yeah, improve our civilizations more. Also, I guess a little bit unlucky with not getting a wonder, but yeah, sometimes that's how it goes. He has a lot of rocks. If he had built a wonder, it would have been closer, but like this, I think it's between me and Andre because we still have wonders. I do try an aggression. Sadly, I can't go for these impacts. Input of culture is won by Andre, and input of science is also won by him. Agriculture is also pretty bad for me because he has more. So I try an aggression. Sadly, he can defend. Yeah. Then I will destroy warrior, build that. Yeah, so I missed out on 8 culture. If it comes down to 8 culture, probably a mistake by me for not doing this earlier. Destroy mine, build a religion, finish the United Nations 16, and then I can use the input of culture. So 14, 7 and 0. So not playing the input of culture, but using it or resolving it this turn with United Nations means that the draw that we have at the moment, 22 to 22, I win that on my turn, so I win it with the United Nations. That's why I built this extra small religion. Yeah, so I think that was quite cute. Tanks, reserves, yeah, just load up on cards. They can't use them anyway. So 190 culture before the impacts. Andre still has his wonder to finish though, 135 here, input of progress. That's good that it comes out before the engineering, 18, 8 and 4. He does go for the engineering, increases pop, destroys military, goes for movies, multimedia, destroys another knight, another multimedia, destroys another one to not have an uprising, and 43 from the internet. Plus 32 production. Yeah, well done, Andre. With those oils, with what? I mean, this is hard to beat. Kimmo used the Olympic Games. He goes for one pro sports. I can go for another one. And another one. 23 culture production from him. So he ends up with 179. And we get the final impacts. Input of colonies 6, 0 and 6. Yeah, all of it pretty close after everything. Government 20, 24, 16. Balance 12, 6 and 0. Yeah, some of the big ones. Wonders 10, 13 and 11. And the last one, competition 3, 8 and 17. So yeah, relatively close. I mean, luckily not 8 culture that I was missing. I don't know if some impacts would have changed it, but definitely one, I guess you could call it smaller issue or smaller mistake that I made not building the opera earlier. Would have made it even closer. But overall, very interesting game with some really different playstyles and different priorities. Andre, I was questioning the oil, but it turned out to be very good. He did find the time to go for the culture with movies and multimedia. I would say sometimes maybe a little bit lucky. Maybe I should have concentrated more on denying him maybe the movies or something. But him getting, I think, movies and Fleming and the multimedia all for one. Same goes for the internet. He didn't have that many civil actions, but all of it kind of fell into place for him. So yeah, very, very interesting game. Very well played by those two. Kimmo, completely different play style, trying to get the early culture with Bach and then just trying to defend it. But not doing so quite. So if the game had gone a little bit, like one turn less, then probably I would have won over Andre. If it had gone 2 turns less, then Kimmo probably would have won. So yeah, very, very interesting game. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I guess, yeah, I really hoped that I would have won this game. I had a very solid position in the early game. But then in the end, Andre made it work with the oil. So yeah, congratulations to him for winning this game, and I guess I'm fine with coming second place in such a tight game, and hope you guys enjoyed the video, and see you guys next time.